More violent. Football vs rugby players. Who would win in a fight? Join us as we delve into an epic battle of strength, agility, and strategy. Will it be the robust rugby players or the agile footballers? Discover what happens when brute force meets finesse. This clash of titans promises to redefine your perceptions of power and speed. Don't miss this comparison of two of the world's toughest sports. American football are a tough bunch. With linebackers weighing in on average 240 pounds with an average height of 6'2", it's no wonder they are perceived as the world's toughest. Let's not forget the cornerback's position, which is the hardest position in football. Not only do they have the hardest job in the game, they rely on strategic techniques which require them to be on top of the game at all times. Tough position for anyone to be in. But rugby players, they've got grit and tenacity with the freedom to change roles when needed. See how they stack up in this ultimate test of skill and endurance. Rugby players can assume roles on a dime, and this makes the sport exciting in that you never know how the game's going to play out. You only know there's going to be lots of tackles, injuries, and a win. It's a spectacle you won't forget. Rugby players can experience hits with more than 10 Gs of strength multiple times during a game, which causes more injuries than football players. On the other hand, American footballers may experience an average tackle force of more than 25 Gs, but with far more padding. The average time on the field for football players is about 11 minutes, whereas rugby players have 80-minute games, and if you're subbed out, you can't return to the game unless under special circumstances. That's endurance, being able to run on average over 3 miles in one game. Rugby is not a sport you can handle if you can't do everything at once. You must be able to run, twist, and take multiple hits per game. Think you're tough. Rugby players have you beat on endurance. Additionally, rugby players make many more tackles than their American counterparts, averaging 16 per game compared to American football's average of just 4. American football players may not have the same physical endurance, but their brute physical contact would surely make them win in a fight right. After all, they are known to tackle hard and strategically win. Given one role, they have a greater advantage of mastering their role to increase their chances of winning the game. While football players tackle for another play, rugby players tackle and continue playing with no pause. Rugby players also have more freedom while playing because rugby players aren't just assigned only one role in a game like that of football players. Rugby players assume multiple roles in all games, making them more adaptable and conscientiously in the game at all times. But what if the tables turn? Could the sheer resilience and endurance of a rugby player outlast the initial onslaught of a footballer? That's an argument both sides of these two spectacular sports want to know. Both players are tough, super strong, and differ because of their training. If they were to fight, one would surely win, but who? Well, it depends solely on who's strategic and who's the weak link on that given day. But I'd watch that fight any day of the week. Who wouldn't? Who do you think would win? I would personally think a linebacker could just sit on a rugby player and win, but that very same rugby player could be a secret MMA fighter too. It simply comes down to the players, their abilities, and who ultimately wants to win the most. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.